Hey folks, it's Tom, your frugal prepper. Mrs. Green Thumb is having a contest for growing tomatoes, and in order to enter the contest, you have to plant your own tomato seeds. I sometimes start from seed, but usually I buy mine at the nursery, which is now closed, and maybe for the foreseeable future, depending on the pandemic. So Oh How Happy Gardener was starting me some supersonic tomato plants. But I want to enter the contest, so I have to grow some of my own. I don't have any supersonic seeds. That's my favorite variety when I need a really high producing tomato that works as a slicer or as a canner. And it grows really well. It's super disease resistant. And hundreds and hundreds of pounds of tomatoes is what I get. But I can throw in a couple other plants. I have some seeds here that are kind of old, but they've been stored well, so they should work fine. I'm gonna plant some just hybrid beefsteak tomatoes. I'm gonna have them plant an heirloom called the Mortgage Lifter. And I've grown beefsteaks before. They do okay, but I find a medium-sized tomato I get more production overall than big tomatoes because there's so much fewer of the big ones, and they're so long to come into ripeness. The Mortgage Lifter is supposed to be a really good all-around tomato too. I've never tried growing it, so we're going to see what happens. But in order to enter the contest, I have to plant the seeds. So I'm just going to plant these. These little cups are the ones me and my son made a few years ago when I did the video on teaching kids to grow plants. He drilled these out and used this drill for the first time, and I still have them. So I'm just going to reuse these. And if I have some plants left over, I'll put them outside like I normally do with the sign that says free tomato plants, and they disappear rather quickly. Probably even more quickly this year because everybody's trying to get a garden in and at least get some type of other food source going on with this whole pandemic situation. So this isn't really the Mittleider way to start plants. They do it different. This is just how I do it, and they always grow fine once I get them in the Mittleider garden. But let's go ahead and get this done. Alright, so I just got some of my Burpee's seed starter mix. I have plenty of this seed starting mix stored. This is pretty old. It's been stored for a while, but I think it should be just fine. So all we're going to do is just fill up our cups with seed starting mix. Nothing too exciting here. This is a sterile seed starting mix, which is what I always use for starting my plants so they don't end up with some type of disease. But just put some in each cup, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So I'll come back when I get all these filled up. Alright, so I've got my seed starting mix in the cups. Just kind of pack it down just lightly. Yeah, I just take a pencil. I'm going to make 3 holes for 3 seeds in each cup. I am not going to keep all 3 seeds in a cup because you want one plant. When you see a plant at the nursery and it's got 2 plants in one spot, that's not a bonus. That's 2 plants competing for the nutrients, and both plants are less healthy. But if they all come up, or more than one comes up, I'll abort the weakest and keep the strongest. I'll just snip it off with some scissors. And so just gonna go make me some little holes in here to drop the little seeds into. I'm just gonna do 7 of each type, and that way if I got some bad seeds or something, hopefully the other type will still grow. But here are my beefsteak tomatoes. I bought these on clearance, actually 10 for $1 one year. So we'll see if they still grow. Pretty tiny little seeds there. Got one in each hole. That's all there is really to it. Okay. I guess I'll keep the rest of these even though I got a bunch more. And then we'll just do the same thing. I got the Mortgage Lifter heirloom. Again, I got these. The Ace Hardware down the street, normally they have a bunch of seeds left over. at the end of the year, and like they take them all out of stock, and there's like 2 big shopping carts just full of seed packets, and they throw them all away. And they told me I'm going to come in and take all I want. So every fall, or if it's actually late summer, I go down and stock up. Alright, so I'll plant the rest of these, and then alright, so now I'm just basically going to kind of cover them all up here. The little holes, kind of fill them in and push down a little bit. That's all there is to that. Now I've got a container to put all these in. I hope they fit. I think what I'm going to do first is just make some label sticks for these so I don't get confused as to which ones are which. Alright, so now I've got my little container to sit them in here. I'm hoping that they'll all fit. I've just put a B on the ones for beefsteak and an M on the ones for mortgage lifter. I just use these jumbo craft sticks. You can find them in the craft section at like Walmart. I can put another one there. Another one right here. Yep, okay, there we go. So now I'm just going to water these all down. And I've just got a sprinkler can of regular water. Once these sprout and get a couple inches tall, I'll put Mittleider Constant feed on them. But the seed itself has enough for the germination process and the first few inches of growth. It has enough nutrition stored in the seed, so I don't actually worry about that. That'll be fine. Keep a little water in the bottom. Now, I'll probably just water these always with a sprinkler can. But a lot of times if these were all one type of plant and I didn't have the sticks, I would put burlap in here so that the water doesn't roll the seeds while they're germinating. But, you know, since that's the case, what I do is just get some bubble wrap, like so, and cover this. I find that bubble wrap works really good for this. It kind of helps magnify the light and it holds the moisture in. Put the bubble sides up, like so. And then we'll kind of be ready to just keep these in a nice warm dry place. For now I'm just going to sit them out in the sun because it's a warm day. And then I'll probably bring them back inside tonight so that they don't frost or anything. Okay, so I've just got my seeds planted. I'm setting them in the sun to stay warm, and then I'll take them inside tonight and just keep them warm and put them out when the sun's out and it's a nice day, as it is. It's really warm out and nice today. But here I got one T-frame reinstalled last night, so I have more T-frames to go. I was going to try to get all the T-frames up and set last night, but I got a call. I had to go to Vandalia and help somebody put an axle in their truck. They kind of got themselves worked into a situation and needed some help. So that's fine. I'll get on this again tonight and see if we can get these T-frames up and going. And this bed will be ready soon for potatoes. But I'm going to be growing a real garden this year. And I enjoy, I invite you to come and watch, give me a subscribe, ring the bell, give me a thumbs up, but also go over to Miss Green Thumb's channel, check out her tomato channel, link down, or tomato challenge, link down below, and go give her a subscribe and ring that bell. Folks, things are going to get rough after this pandemic's over. Prices are going to go up, and it's just going to be rough times. People are going to be unemployed. You can grow seeds. You can find seeds everywhere. Most cantaloupe are an heirloom. You can regrow those seeds. Many peppers are, but not all. Most tomatoes in the store are hybrids. You're not going to want to regrow those. But all your beans, lima beans, all your dried beans, those are typically live seeds that you can plant and they will grow food again. So be creative and think about where to get seeds. plant a garden, grow something. Any little bit will help. You know, I've been planning for something like this for quite a while, and the Mittleider gardening method was the way for me to seriously grow food and have a really high production and a really not much guesswork, and have an actual plan in place to feed my family without having to go find mulches and manures and compost. I can do it with what I have in my shed. Yes, I use NPK fertilizer, and I use the micronutrients, and the, you know, there's the micro, macros, and you know, ones in between. But there's 13 essential nutrients that we use, and I grow food. I can grow hundreds of pounds of food in this little gardening space. And when I did this, I had slightly longer beds at my old house in 2013. I canned 1,100 jars of food by the time the growing season was over, and I had to leave a lot of stuff just to rot because I didn't have any room to store it. So that's the kind of gardening that I do. But look at all the gardening channels and see what works for you. See what you can do. The good news is that most topsoil is good, and you can grow out of it for a year or two with great results without adding anything. So go shovel up some dirt, till it, plant some seeds, and grow some stuff so that you have some more food options when things get really tough later on. I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, your Frugal Prepper.